Hi guys, it's Kiyako here, back with another speed build. Today I'm building a seafood restaurant, and I know this is kind of pretty random. I just did this because I had like this weird idea of putting like a boat on top of a restaurant, and it kind of just morphed into this idea for this like seafood place on the pier. Which is, I don't know, it's an interesting idea. I've never really done, I don't think I've ever done a seafood place before, or anything that was kind of like nautical themed. I don't know why, it's just not usually like an aesthetic that I play around with, but you know, this was a good experience for me to kind of see my nautical themed decor put to use. And by that I mean like a lot of the stuff from the Cats and Dogs pack is like this like nautical like pier themed. And I just haven't used a lot of it, so it was nice to finally kind of like go through all that stuff and actually pull out things that I liked, and actually create a restaurant that looked it kind of looks like a seafood restaurant, I think. I actually think that the way the exterior looks, it ends up looking pretty cool. So what we do in a well, actually probably not in a moment, but throughout this video you'll see the architecture of this building is on the outside we have like this giant, yeah, there it is, this blue boat you're gonna see. It's not gonna be there like in the center of the lot. What I do with that blue boat is I actually put it up kind of like in the roof. And the reason I do that is I thought it'd be kind of like this cool, like sculptural piece is like this boat that's like built into the roof. You know what I mean? Like I've seen restaurants do this where, like not specifically like boat on the roof, but like where they have giant sculptural objects or like, you know, objects of significance just built into their roofs or like as a sign, or I don't know. And this is something that I could see happening in real life, so it's not like totally, you know, fantasy. I feel like it could, you know, it doesn't make sense right now because you're not seeing what I'm talking about. You're gonna see it in just a moment, I promise. But this boat's gonna be like a sculptural piece that's gonna like draw attention to the seafood restaurant. I feel like this place is probably called like Shipwreck Restaurant or like Shipwreck Cove or something like that, to have like the boat theme like tied into the title, because I feel like the boat as part of the architecture would kind of be like iconic, in the sense that like everyone who, you know, knows about this restaurant or like has been to this town is like, oh yeah, that restaurant with the huge boat on it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing here, because like in real life, you know how there's like restaurants that have famous landmarks, like, you know, McDonald's has the big M, and there are certain restaurants that'll have like, you know, you guys know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. This restaurant has the boat. You see what I'm doing here? It's like built into the roofs, and it's like over the entrance area, so it's kind of like providing coverage. Yeah. This is what I was going for. I know I didn't explain it that well, but it looks cool. I think it actually turns out looking pretty cool. It's a weird idea, but I think it was pretty successful, yeah. But we're doing the rest of the roofs here now. As you can see, the building has kind of this interesting like A-frame triangle shape, but I think it looks good. And I'm going through all my like cats and dog stuff and pulling out, you know, boxes and those like buoy fishnet things that are hanging on the window, and yeah, had a lot of fun with this one. I will say I was very, not loose, but kind of more experimental with my color palette. I was a lot more open to a wider variety of colors in my color palette. And I know that doesn't really make sense to anyone who hasn't seen any of my videos before. I'm such a stickler about color palette. I'm super strict about color palette. I don't know why, it's just my brain gets, you know, it itches the wrong way when color isn't right in my builds. So in this build, I tried to play it a little looser with the color palette, since I have a lot of rainbows going on with like the colorful buoys and the fishnets and the boats, all different colors. So I tried to play it looser. As you can see, even the trash cans were different colors than I would usually go for, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of this build. It's kind of a different build in, you know, the realm of what I usually do. I mean, I've done restaurants and stuff before, but like I said, don't usually do nautical stuff. I don't know. It's just not an aesthetic that I usually like, but I don't know, I had fun with this one. Anyways, do you guys like seafood? Do you guys like seafood restaurants? I love fish. Fish is so good, like salmon and tilapia, very good. But it's so expensive, so I never get to eat it, but Maybe one day. But here I'm setting up some tables on the outside, so there is a little bit of an outdoor eating area here. I think I actually ended up scrapping these one in the center. Yeah, it was just too crowded, so I just had these tables on the side. And then I'm gonna put in, let's see, some candles. Yeah, some little candles so you can have like a romantic candlelit fishy dinner, I guess, on the pier. But yeah, I like that this restaurant is on the pier. I feel like the location of this restaurant really sells it, you know, that it's like right on the water and it's like actually like on the docks, you know? Is there a difference between docks and a pier? Or are they like synonymous? Like saying I'm on the docks and I'm on the pier. Is that synonymous? I don't know. Let me know. If any fishermen who watch my videos, please let me know. But yeah, here I am covering up the computer on the freaking Hostess stand. And the reason I did that, honestly, it was just because the color of the screen, that bright teal blue color, was not in my color palette and I didn't like it, so I just covered it up. Even though it doesn't make sense for it to be covered up, like it doesn't make sense that this Hostess station would have like, you know, storage boxes stacked on top of it. I don't know. That's how much of a stickler I am about color palette, is like I will sacrifice realism for the sake of color palette. Like, that's how much of a stickler I am. But anyways, we are on the inside now. Here I'm just trying to figure out the layout. Basically, we just have the kitchen. We have like the huge dining space, and then there's an upstairs area which is more dining, and then the bathrooms are upstairs as well. So here I'm putting in my staircases. I actually put in 2 into this little like triangle formation that you see here, and this was just because I thought it looked cool. I just thought it looked like kind of looks like a pyramid, doesn't it? It like emulates the same triangle structure as the outside of the building, so it's like a pattern, I guess. I don't know. And then here I am putting in my wood, my floor. Which is the same floor that I used on the outside, actually. And then I'm gonna put in a wallpaper. I think I go with like a wood panel thing. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite remember. I'm pretty sure I go with like wood panel because I like the idea of like feeling like you were inside of a boat, kind of. Like you're not supposed to like it's not supposed to simulate a boat, but it's kind of has the essence of like being in a boat, kind of, you know, with all the wood. I don't know. That's kind of what I was going for. That green door will lead to the kitchen, so I blocked it off with this fish tank. So when you walk right in, you don't see the kitchen door, you just see like this fish tank, which is obviously on theme because fish. And I put those little stools there by the fish tank so little kids could like stand up and look in at the fish, because I definitely feel like this is a very big family restaurant, like a tourist attraction family restaurant. You know what I mean? Like it's a famous like dock pier boat town, and like if you bring your family here on vacation, like you have to like go to this restaurant with like amazing seafood. That's what I imagined. That's the world we're in right now. But as you can see, I'm using these like little buoy fish. I don't know, are these buoys? Yeah, I'm using these buoys a lot. And they really inspired my color palette because they're so bright. Like they have these bright blues and greens and oranges, so it really challenged me to bring those colors into my build in other places, which is why I said in the beginning that my color palette is a lot more experimental and looser here, mainly because of my choice to use buoys, to be totally honest. I had this idea that the walls would kind of be covered in, you know, dock pier nautical related memorabilia. I know it's kind of a weird way of describing what I was imagining, but like I like the idea of like the walls, like anytime there's free wall space, that it would just be like absolutely covered with, you know, paintings or photos or just like nautical themed things like buoys or, you know, what are they called? Boat wheels, steering wheels for boats. I don't know what you call them. Ship wheels. I'm losing my mind trying to figure out what this is called. Boat wheel. Is it just called a wheel? The mast? I don't know. I feel like there's an obvious word for this and I'm totally forgetting it. But the thing that you turn to steer a boat. Anyways, you can see me doing that here where I'm filling up the walls with fish, nautical related things to kind of cover everything up. It's not as, like, to be totally honest, it's not as covered as I would like it to be. Like I would really have preferred every single inch of wall space to be absolutely covered by memorabilia. But honestly, I didn't have enough like wall or painting custom content that was like in the right color palette and like kind of nautical themed to cover the walls like as much as I wanted to. But like it still works. I covered them enough that I think that you get the idea of what I was going for. But you know, in real life, if I was like actually like interior designing this restaurant, decorating it, it would be a lot. There would be a lot more. You know what I mean? There'd be a lot more variety of what I was going for. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like in those restaurants that you go on with your family, or like at least maybe I don't think if I've ever been in a restaurant like this, but at least I've seen them in movies where there's these restaurants that like are just covered. Their walls are covered with decorations that are on theme of whatever the restaurant is themed about. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please let me know. I feel like someone will know what I'm talking about. It's just like a design choice, a design style that a lot of these like family restaurants will make. But anyways, here I'm putting in sections of seating. This is one of the few restaurants where I actually feel like the seating is pretty substantial in terms of like realism. Like, I don't know if it's like large enough, but usually my restaurants are pretty small, like they have less than 10 tables, but I feel like this restaurant is kind of a realistic size. I mean, the kitchen isn't really a realistic size. The kitchen is a little bit small for a commercial kitchen of a restaurant of this size, but in terms of the seating, I feel like there's a lot of good seating. Yeah. Anyways, putting more wall decorations on. There is, what are we doing? Oh, we're in the kitchen now. I think, yeah, we're doing the kitchen. Yeah, putting in some flooring, and then we're gonna put in our counters, which are taking me, yeah, we're gonna use those counters. And then we're gonna mix them with another counter actually too. So we're gonna use these counters, and then we're gonna use, let's see, a different counter on the other side. So like I said, this is pretty small for a commercial kitchen, and definitely not realistic for a commercial kitchen. So if there's any, you know, people who work in restaurants watching this video, I know this probably is not realistic at all to the, you know, the food industry. I just wanted to make, you know, a kitchen that seemed like it was on theme for this restaurant. But yeah, here I'm putting in, let's see, some cabinets so that they have storage space. And then we're gonna put in a trash can or 2 trash cans. We have 2 trash cans. And then over here on this little section here is just gonna kind of be like a general storage space. I gave them a bucket for some reason. I don't know. I mean, it's a seafood restaurant, so maybe they have, I don't know, clams in the bucket. I don't know. Anyways, you can see I put a thing of corn down because I guess they serve corn at the seafood restaurant. I don't have any like fish dishes, so I had to just kind of improvise with my kitchen a little bit. I think I do actually throw in some fish later on, just like on the counter. Like not even on plates, like I literally just put a fish like right on the counter. Which again is probably not realistic to how these restaurants would work, but you know, it looks cool. I'll put some food down there to, you know, suggest that that's what they're serving. And oh, that was super quick, but over there for a second I did actually put down a fish on the counter. But let's see, what am I doing now? I was looking for something here. I don't quite remember what it was. I was looking for like some sort of like sign or something that would show like all the meal of the day, but I couldn't find anything that was in my color palette, so I just kind of scrapped that. Putting some napkins on a lot of the tables, just, you know, for that added little touch of realism, because restaurants will have that, you know, where you can sit down, there's always like little napkins and like a menu or something there on the table. And now we're gonna go upstairs. So like I said, upstairs is just additional seating plus the bathrooms. It's kind of cramped, like it's a pretty small upstairs area. To be honest, I imagine that if this was like a real functioning restaurant, they probably most of the time keep the upstairs section closed, unless they had, unless it was like a rush hour, or they were like really busy for like a holiday or an event or something like that. Like, I just feel like it's an additional overflow seating place because there's not really a lot of windows on the second floor. It's a little bit cramped. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's definitely like an overflow space, if that makes sense. Anyways, it took me forever to do these bathrooms for some reason, but keeping them pretty simple. I did want to add in some nautical touches just because I also wanted my bathrooms to be on theme. So I put in those little, what do you call those? Lifesavers? You know, those little, the things you throw out into the sea. I think it's kind of funny that that's in the bathroom, you know? But yeah, that is, I think we're about done with the bathroom. I tried a few other things, but none of it worked, so I was pretty happy with how the bathroom turned out. I mean, it's pretty simple, but I actually thought it works. And then we're gonna do our tables. Like I said, pretty cramped, pretty small space, so I couldn't fit in that much seating. And then I'm just gonna decorate this wall. Same kind of theme where we have like the walls covered in nautical related memorabilia. Or just, you know, things that fit my color palette, to be honest. And then we're gonna put these buoy fishnet hanging things everywhere. I used those so much during this build because it was just like the defining feature of this restaurant is those fishnets. But I'm gonna put in some curtains on the wall. I like the blue of these ones. I thought that it kind of matched those tablecloths well, and it brought out the blue in the beams that we were using. So I like those curtains actually. And we are almost about done here. Putting in some napkins, because even they need napkins too, the upstairs people. And yeah, we are about done. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever been to a seafood restaurant that's anything like this. That would be such a coincidence and super cool. Let me know if you've ever seen a restaurant with a big boat on top of it, because I'd love to see that too. Anyways, as always, leave any requests, suggestions, whatever ideas that you have down below. I love seeing what you guys have to say, and yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.